Welcome to Tom's Diner. My name is Dodd.
I'm Andy.
This is episode 8. We are going to discuss some recent plays we've had with the newly revealed cards and the updated Alpha Deck cards. And then we're going to make our predictions for the teaser cards that they put on the official blog. We'll go through the ones we are pretty sure or are certain have already been revealed, and then make some guesses as to what the content of the other ones might be. So starting off with play, why don't you tell us what you thought of the several games we've played with the new cards?
Well, other than having to use scissors a lot more than I have since elementary school to try to make sure that we were able to play with the print and play versions of the cards, I built a blue-yellow deck that was trying to play a lot of programs and do some recursion from the trash and things like that. You started off playing a little bit faster green-red early unit deck and then switched over to a sort of pseudo-mirror match against my blue-yellow deck. So we saw a lot of the card pool in those games. If the game wasn't fun, we wouldn't be sitting here playing it. It does feel with the limited card pool right now, as you try to be more intricate with some of your strategy with trying to make sure you have gear and make sure you have programs and things like that, that's going to be a little bit more limited right now than just play early fast units and try to run over somebody, just until we get a larger card pool that has some more utility. But that's going to be the case with any game, as you see most of the time with new games. Aggro has a little bit of an advantage early, as people are getting used to new rules and new card pools and try to develop strategies. It's a lot easier to just go fast and smash things. A lot of easier decisions there. You're not having to worry about, do I play this card? Do I sell this card? You're just trying to make sure you stay on curve and have enough strength to steal gigs and have board presence.
It was pretty stark today. In particular, my green-yellow just rolled over. I won both games. Not really very difficult. I mean, this first one, you just conceded on like turn 5 because you had nothing on the board and I had a full board. And then we played, it wasn't quite the mirror match because you have alt and I have Go Solo V. And I don't have any Mama Brigade in mind because there's just not enough programs right now. You got to do her one time. Which was cool for you.
And it flipped board control, which was big. And I also had a Lizzie Wizzy in my hands, knowing if I put these in my trash, I'll be able to play one of them for free the next turn with Lizzie Wizzy and have a blocker.
Which is all very nice, but both of those games, I was getting resource starved. So I wasn't able to play modded Kusanagi on curve. I wasn't able to play Placide at all because I wasn't drawing enough stuff I could sell. And then I'm playing a deck with River Ward, and I got to use his ability one time to put Dying Knight on V on my own turn, and then you just came in and wiped her off the board. Is that what you used, Mama?
No, it wasn't Mama Brigade. It was because Mama Brigade is unequipped. That was when I brought in Jackie, and I was able to get Jackie up to 12.
Right.
I had 2 even gigs and was able to take her out at 10. I was worried that you were going to have, because you had River up, that you were going to be able to play something to make her a 12, and I was willing to make that trade, but I was just hoping you didn't have something that was going to give her +3.
I was having so much trouble getting enough resources, and these are problems like one of the games we played with my yellow-red deck, because I was so resource starved. Even though I was winning the game on the board, I had Carry Uridine in my hand the whole game and could never roll in an 8. I kept rolling 6s and 2s, and I had no gig manipulation coming in. I share the concern that you expressed about only being able to draw one card a turn. Now, we've seen card draw, we've seen gig manipulation. They're telling us every faction is going to have its own unique stylistic way to do that. But with the card we have right now, it really does feel like you're stuck with what you drew. By mulligan
and
away,
you just hope to top deck.
The 3 out of the 4 games we played today, I found myself in a situation where I was like, if I don't top deck something I can sell, I can't play the cards in my hand, which is frustrating. But I trust they will fix it, and that the cards they're in the process of printing right now will improve on that. But it is hard to assess when you don't have your full curve available to you.
And the games where I struggled were also games where you had early board pressure, so that matters. They were the games where I would mulligan because I only had top end. Oh, you've got 2 Jackie Wells and both Placides in your deck, and a Kusanagi. Sure, I could play the Kusanagi on turn 3, but it's coming right back in my hand, or Jackie Wells alone. That's when the targeted removal cards are going to wipe your board because you don't have additional targets. You haven't been forcing your opponent to make those plays early. You put down your one big unit, when you've been struggling to get stuff out on the board, that's just going to get wiped out. I had games where I would have a Bombus and then a couple of Chrome Reveries or something like that, and that feels like it can keep you afloat, but Chrome Reverie is just letting you, at least right now, like if you have a min gig, you can call a legend for free. That's good once or twice, but if you're not getting the cards off the top of your deck while you're doing that, your opponent's keeping their units on the board even though they're not attacking, and you're still inching closer to doom if you're not able to top deck.
In our previous episode where we discussed games we played, I had won a couple of games with my mono yellow deck before we had Black Sapphire. Never got Adam Smasher to play. Didn't matter. It was pretty aggro, and you were playing your version of the Sprite deck, and it just couldn't stand up to it. So we played a few games the other day with that deck again, with the updated version of it. And I got Adam Smasher into play 2 out of those 3 games, and the 2 out of 3 games I got him into play, it didn't matter. One, I was so far behind by the time I got him in, which was made possible by Black Sapphire, that I couldn't do anything. And the second one, I had like 3 guys in play, and I had such a dominant position that you were giving me crap for actually attacking with them all before I played him, just because I was going to do it the right way to develop good habits. I have now determined that even with Black Sapphire to help him get into play in a turn or 2 early, the cost of that card is prohibitive. You're giving up basically a turn to get a turn ahead on resources. And depending on the matchup, that could be fine or it could be completely debilitating, because I have to use 5 resources to play that card to get an extra Eddie, which is great. I get an extra Eddie, and that's what I want. I want ramp, but absent some other support, Adam Smasher is a pure Timmy card. So it's going to be a while before I play him again.
Glad to see you coming around to the side of the light here. That was my response initially, but I understand wanting to see if it can work.
Yeah, well, it's a big splashy effect, and people are going to be drawn to that, so I want to give them a try. Yeah, it's a big splashy effect. It's fun to do.
Yeah, and there may be 5 cards they haven't shown yet that somehow make it work, but with the card pool they have right now, it's just not worth it.
And that's not my play style.
Yeah.
So let's move on, and we'll talk about the teaser list. I'm going to put a link to this blog post on the official site in the description for people to look at. I'm just going to read them off. We'll take them one by one. Some of them we already know, as indicated. We'll indicate which ones those are, and then if one or both of us has a prediction about what it might be, we'll discuss that briefly. And so let's start off with a legend that rewards you for rolling a 20.
What do you have for that one?
Johnny Silverhand.
Okay.
I don't see anybody else who would be, here's a gambling effect, but that cannot be his only ability, because that would be absurd. Nobody would ever play a legend whose only ability was to give you some kind of reward, no matter how good it was, for rolling a 20. That's way too random. But having that as a ribbon effect, where, if you roll a 20 on your one die that has a 20, then you get some really good effect, like pulling something out of the trash or something, that'd be cool. But he's got to have another solid ability or be able to go solo or something else.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably the most likely.
A legend that says defeat a rival unit, that is Adam Smasher in Endure of Legends.
Yep, and we know that one for sure.
A unit with 7 power that can be played for as little as 1 Eddie. I put Emmerich Bronson, that's the animal bodyguard at the Afterlife, and my guess is he'll be yellow, and you'll get -1 Eddie for each different value gig you have, minimum of 1.
Okay.
But again, that's the kind of thing I think I'll see them doing, because that's how they did, like, Carnage at Coliseum, was you could get cumulative -1s, or Alt Cunningham, cumulative -1s, but to a minimum cost of 1.
Yeah.
So something like that.
I can see that work.
A card that gives your opponent a choice unless you have more street cred. This sounds like a red program that if you have more, and it's going to be something like a program that discards a card from the rival's hand of their choice if you have less street cred, or random if they don't.
So no specific...
I can't think of who that would be specifically.
I think that...
Because it sounds like a program.
Yeah, it makes sense what you're saying also, and then it's... Yeah.
But also, unless you have more street cred, taking away the choice sounds red to me. A program that can defeat any unit for only 3 Eddies. So this is going to be something with a heavy cost on your side. You're going to have to lose a unit or something for a 3 Eddie removal card to work. So I put System Collapse in blue and defeat a friendly unit to defeat
I think what this program is going to do is it's going to give an opposing unit +3 power for each of its equipped gear, and then if it attacks, it's going to defeat it at the end of the turn. I think this is Cyber Psycho.
I think you're probably right.
It's funny.
It is carefully worded.
Yeah, a lot of these, and you'll see a couple of these so Dodd went through ahead of time and made a list, and then some of them are so broad that I came in and said, I think they're being cute with some of these that have already been revealed. I think it's Cyber Psychosis on that one, even though it has some additional requirements that aren't mentioned there.
It's probably Cyber Psychosis. The next one is a unit that gains up to 20 power when it attacks, which is obviously El Sombreron. A certain netrunner that can prevent your gigs from being stolen. I have 3 possibilities for this in this order. The Lucy one we haven't seen an ability for. Sandra Dorset, or Raish Bartmoss, and it would be some ability like quick, spend $1 and this unit to prevent a rival from stealing a gig this attack.
Okay.
You had somebody else?
Yeah, I had Bryce Mosley. He's the netrunner in the video game.
He's the one you either beat up in the movie theater or align with.
Yeah, he helps you shut down the Voodoo Boys' data fortresses, and he's the guy that's responsible for fixing breaches in the Black Wall.
A unit that can draw up to 12 cards when it's defeated. You think this is...
Jackie Wilson.
Theoretically, if they're being really cute, you could have all 12 gigs
yes,
and have him somehow be defeated despite the fact that you have all the gigs.
You'd have 12 gigs, he'd have to be defeated, they'd all have to be odd, and then if he's defeated and they're all odd, you draw 12 cards.
That is such a vanishingly small edge case where you are in a position where he can be defeated while you have all of the gigs, and yes, they could all be odd.
But to draw 12 cards, it has to be that absurd of a scenario.
A gear that lets you play any unit from Welcome Night City in your trash for free. Did you make a guess for this one?
I did not.
Okay, I have Second Heart. That's a circulatory system item that basically brings you back from death. I'm really hoping that they're being triply cute here and that the part where it says any Welcome to Night City unit is applicable only to the current time and place and not a card that will actually be restricted to cards from this set. That would be distressing.
Mm-hmm.
A program that lets you sell an additional card for that turn. Well, that would obviously be Bootleg Black Sapphire Show.
Yes.
A program named after a main job that lets you play a gear you find for free. What you got?
I said Don't Fear the Reaper, but then you said what yours is, and I think yours is probably correct.
To pick up something along the lines of search the top 3 cards of your deck, play one gear you find for free, bottom deck the rest. Something like that.
Yeah.
A legend that can defeat itself from the legend zone to save another unit's life. Did you have a guess for this?
Rebecca.
Okay. Yeah, that fits. I'm not sure how it fits with having a moment, but it fits because she would certainly do that for David. There's only so many other legends that we don't have abilities for, so there's a Jackie Wells out there that I could see being that as
Sure.
well. A program referencing a cult that defeats any unit. What you got?
The Inquisitors. They're a cult and a gang that hates all cyberware. Just seems like if they could defeat a unit just for fun.
Well, there's a cult mentioned on a couple 3 shards you can find in the game called Our Lady of Holy Death.
That would track with defeating any unit.
So I think it's going to have a big cost, like you have to give up a gig or something, because again, a program that defeats any unit is going to have a big cost. It could also be Soul Killer.
It could.
A program that wants your fixture area to be empty.
My guess was Memory Wipe.
That's a good guess. I have no idea what this would be called, but I think it'll be something along the lines of retrieving cards to hand from trash if your fixer area is empty. That's going to be a late game card that gets you something back, because obviously if your fixer area is empty, that means you're on turn 7.
Yeah.
6 or 7. A legend that lets you attack with the same unit twice in a turn is obviously Pan Am. A medtech unit that punishes your rival for controlling more gigs.
My guess, because I've read the comics, is Nadia, who's the main character in the Trauma Team comic series.
Is she an EMT?
Yes.
Okay, well, I have a blue EMT that on play says if your rival has more gigs than you, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and return them in any order.
Her boyfriend's name is Dodd, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, very few things have ever freaked me out as much while watching a movie as in Memento when he shows up at the door with a picture of the guy in the closet with duct tape on his mouth and says, "Who the fuck is Dodd?" I did not see that coming. All right, so the next one is a unit that says, at the end of your turn, ready up to 3 friendly units. This sounds like a good power for Rita Wheeler to me.
Yeah, no, that is a good Rita Wheeler.
You got something?
No, I was struggling to come up with something, but Rita makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so this one's great. They haven't told us what epic gear is, but since it's capitalized, I'm assuming that we will find out eventually that it's some kind of special kind of gear. So, an epic gear that can directly defeat a rival unit every turn. What you got?
Overwatch.
That's
a sniper rifle
that you get from Pan Am for
Yes.
completing Riders on the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll like mine, too. Malorian Arms, 3516. Red, power plus 2 or 3, attack. If this unit is named Johnny Silverhand, defeat a rival unit of power 3 or less. A legend that gives units power when you play a brain dance. I think we both agree this is going to have to get Judy.
If it's not, then we riot.
Yes.
Nothing else makes sense.
A legend with Ghost Solo and 0 power that will never let you down. What you got?
Okay, well, Never Let You Down is the giveaway here that this is an Edge Runners character.
Okay.
Because the end credits song in Edge Runners is Let You Down.
Okay.
So this could be Lucy. If your guess is correct that they just haven't shown us the ability on Lucy, that makes the most sense to me.
It didn't occur to me to compare the end music, so I guessed it.
Well, I don't know, why would it not occur to you to
Because I usually don't pay attention to the end music of TV shows. I guess that it would be the Hanako we haven't got a power for yet, and it would be some power that if she's on the field, your rival can't reduce your gig values. Because if that never lets you down, it's got to have some meaning on the mechanics of the card. Something else occur to you?
I just realized that it's probably Sasha Yakovleva.
It's a legend, dude. We've seen all the legends.
Have we seen all the legends?
We think so.
Okay.
There's not a lot of room for more, but if there's a legend they haven't revealed yet. Why
Sure, the reason she is the one that is actually in the music video for that. She's the character that's running around in the music video. I looked for the lyrics to see if there was anything in the lyrics, and then that showed up.
I'm going to guess she's from the comics?
No, she's in Edge Runners.
Which one's Sasha? Moving on.
I showed Dot the picture. He had no idea who it was.
I've watched that show twice. I have no idea who that is. A card that lets you play the top card of your deck for free. You know who this is? This is Garry the fucking Prophet.
Yes,
when he's defeated.
Yeah.
When he's defeated, you play the top card of your deck for free. And that would go really well with my one that lets you put 4 cards back on the top of the order.
I think when you mean when he is abducted.
That's the same thing. Either way, he's going to Office Centauri. A gear that wants to be equipped to V is Dying Knight. A card that gets both a Maelstrom and Mox tag.
I said Bonnie and Clyde.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a minor thing.
I looked through a bunch of characters, and I can't find anybody that combo makes sense for. So I'm thinking it's some kind of gear that enhances the Ganger tag. I don't have it. I have no idea. And then finally, a card with the reminder text you still pay its cost is Alt Cunningham Soulkiller Architect.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these. This will
be fun.
This is a fun way for them to spoil cards ahead of time and give you some speculation without expand the spoiler season so that people are making conjectures like this without saying, here's this card, here's this card, here's this card.
For the record, they encourage people to go on Discord or whatever and talk about it. Mm-hmm. I saw earlier today that KP Cyberpunk had put out a video about predictions, which I presume is this, but I did not look at anything. I wanted this to be just me. So if we actually got something that somebody else said, that's pure coincidence. I'm sure everyone assumes Judy is the one card.
Yeah, and I went back through on a lot of these and looked at some of the art reveals that they've done that don't have cards assigned to them. That, like, for example, Bonnie and Clyde, they showed that as...
Oh, there is a card. Yes. I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's really cool art if you haven't seen it. Yeah, so we will find out, but looking forward to it. I think
it's pretty clever, actually. Get us talking about this stuff and give us these pseudo-reveals so they can slow down the pace at which they reveal new cards so that the card game isn't solved before they start shipping.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, if you watched episode 13, it was very encouraging. It looks like since I filled out my survey on the day that the surveys came out, I will get my cards the same time as everybody else. And we're less than 3 months away. They're going to ship them at the beginning of September.
Yep, September 1st. And since we're both going to Gen Con, we are 2 months away, less than 2 months away from being able to play the demo decks and get a promo and just have fun at Gen Con.
Yeah, we're signed up for Learn to Plays, even though we know how to play.
Ish.
Yeah. I'm hoping that since they will have product already on the water, that maybe they'll have something at Gen Con.
I think that would be unlikely.
Not for sale, but...
Oh, just a show. Yeah, I was going to say that.
No, I'd be furious if they were selling
exactly.
it.
Yeah, if you
when I paid $1,000
to be back the Kickstarter. Yeah. I think they'll absolutely have some stuff there to show off, because why would you not? If you've got people coming to your area, it's going to be one of the hotter games there to look at. Give people stuff to salivate over and call their local game store and get a pre-order in.
All right, so let's go to the Afterlife. You got a recommendation?
I am shocked that neither one of us has referenced this before. It's probably too on the nose, but the 90s, So Bad It's Good classic Hackers.
Yeah.
It was a formative movie.
I haven't recommended it because I assume anybody who's listening to this podcast has already seen it such that they can quote it while it's playing.
But it's also 30 years old, so you've got a whole generation of people who didn't not necessarily grow up with it. We're both old enough, neither one of us grew up with it, but it was one of the few cyberpunky movies around.
One of the two Wi-Fi networks in my house is called The Gibson.
Mm-hmm. Hack the Planet. What's yours?
So I taught this game to a friend of mine who we used to play Keyforge with, and he recommended 2 books to me. I tried one of them, didn't really grab me, but he also recommended that I try the audiobook of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I fucking love it. It is so good. Everything is perfect, and the guy doing the voiceover is amazing. He recommended the audiobook rather than reading it, and I can't imagine experiencing this any other way.
So you don't think it would be as good just as a book? Do you think it would still be... I mean, I'm not an audiobook guy.
I would say, in this case, listen to the audiobook.
Okay, yes, I'll check it out.
He does such a great job.
Yeah, I've seen all the hype for it. I've just never pulled the trigger, especially because it got popular after there were already 6, 7 books, and so that's a big hill to climb.
This one is just a blast.
Okay.
The premise of Dungeon Crawler Carl is that he and his ex-girlfriend's cat get sucked into this intergalactic Running Man-style television show game where the entire human race that survived to go down into the dungeon have to fight mobs and level up and get gear, and he and his cat are a party by themselves.
So hard sci-fi is what you're saying.
It is harder than you might think.
Okay, cool.
Check it out. It's great.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
All right, well, that's all we have for this week. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, thanks a lot, everybody.